Do you hear that? I just learned something new, and I was going to share it with everybody. I was down at the mailbox for my monthly trip. I usually go to the mailbox once a month, and I get my mail. Because I don't have any bills that come in the mail. I only need to go there to pull out the trash and throw it away because I don't want the mailman to get mad at me. In case something ever does come, I can't think of the last time I got anything in the mail. I get some prospectus statements from companies where I own stock out of my TD Ameritrade account maybe. But I've already seen it online already in my email, so it doesn't matter. Things like that. Anyway, who cares about my mail? So I'm there, and I'm talking to the maintenance guy here, Tim, who's a friend of mine. He actually published a cover of a sci-fi book that I published. He's a good illustrator. That's not important here. But so then this other lady walks up, and she's a neighbor that lives in the next building, and I see her all the time, like when I'm throwing out my trash or coming and going on my bike in my car. And she starts talking. We're talking about food and diets and high pH and getting rid of acid and alkaline diets and not eating bread and giving up sodas and how to eat green vegetables and alkaline water. And then I started sharing with them how to make ormus, because I have videos on how to make ormus. And my friend Tim was having skin reactions and like problems with his tongue getting swollen and kind of icky. And his stepfather actually told him, he says, it looks like you've got too much acid in your system. You need to drink alkaline water and eat green vegetables. And he was right. And I was like, yeah. I've even got videos. If you look in my streams, I've got videos on how to, the pH of foods, I think it is. And I've got a color wheel chart that shows you the pHs of different foods and drinks. So it's just this casual discussion for 10 minutes or so. And this lady's there. So then he leaves, Tim leaves, and this lady's talking to me. And then she hands me this card. And I'll show you the card. I'll cover up her company name. Maybe she'd like the hits if you read her company name, but I'm not going to do that to her. Well, look at this. What does it say? Professor Gumbo, as in Cajun. And Doc Fire, okay? Now it says down here, she's a Vajra transmission master. And I thought, I've never heard of Vajra. Is that like Toyota? Because I'm not very good with transmissions, and if she's a transmission master, I could use some classes. But it turned out to be something else, which I suspected. But, well, because of the symbol here, look. Isn't that a Luciferian New Age symbol? It's a heart with the three curves. It kind of looks like the Mitsubishi symbol over a heart. Mitsubishi means 3 diamonds, by the way. And that's going to connect to what I'm going to talk about here. I just saw that. So what you're listening to is a Vajra Guru mantra transmission chant. So this is it. Let me read from you what is Vajra. By the way, I don't think I'm ever going to call her. She says she's a healer, mind, body, and soul therapeutical healing. Therapeutical, it's not therapeutic only, but it's therapeutical, which is even better. So, from Wikipedia, a Vajra is a weapon used as a ritual object to symbolize both the properties of a diamond, indestructibility, and a thunderbolt, irresistible force. The Sanskrit word has both of these meanings. The Vajra is essentially a type of club with a ribbed spherical head. The ribs may meet in a ball-shaped top, or they may be separate and end in sharp points with which to stab. The Vajra is the weapon of the Indian Vedic rain and thunder deity Indra, and is used symbolically by the Dharma traditions of Buddhism, Jainism, and Hinduism. Often to represent firmness of spirit and spiritual power according to the Indian mythology, Vajra is considered as one of the most powerful weapons in the universe. The use of Vajra as a symbolic and ritual tool spread from India along with the Indian religion and culture to other parts of Asia. Etymology. According to Asko Parpola, the Sanskrit Vajra and Avestan Vajra, V-A-Z-R-A, both refer to a weapon of the Godhead. By the way, Vajra is spelled V-A-J-R-A. Okay, so, and possibly from the Proto-Indo-European root weg, W-E-G, which means to become powerful, and is related to the Proto-Finno-Uralic vasara, hammer axe. But both the Sanskrit and the Finn-Ugric derivatives are likely Pro-Aryan and Proto-Indo-Aryan, but not Proto-Iranian. State Parpola and Carpellan because of its palatized sibilant, I guess because of the way it's made easy to pronounce, it sounds like. The earliest mention of the vajra is in the Rig Veda, part of the 4 Vedas. It's described as the weapon of Indra, the chief among gods. Indra is described as using the vajra to kill sinners and ignorant persons. The Rig Veda states that the weapon was made for Indra by Tvastar, the maker of divine instruments. The associated story describes Indra using the vajra, which he held in his hand, to slay the asura Vritra, who took the form of a serpent. On the account of his skill in wielding the vajra, some epithets used for Indra in the Rig Veda were Vajrabrit, bearing the vajra, or Vajravat, meaning armed with the vajra, or Vajra-daksina, holding the vajra in his right hand, or Vajrabahu or Vajra-asta, holding the vajra in his hand. The association of the vajra with Indra was continued with some modifications in the Puranic literature in the Buddhist works. Wow, that's a mouthful. So anyway, the accompanying bell. Let's go back. And we're still listening to some of this chant. Okay. All right. Now, the bell, the accompanying bell. The vajra is almost always paired with a ritual bell. Tibetan term for a ritual bell used in Buddhist religious practices is tribu, which oddly enough means tribe in Spanish. Priests and devotees ring bells during the rituals. Together, these ritual implements represent the inseparability of wisdom and compassion in the enlightened mind stream. Usage of the bell. The bell is the most commonly used of all musical instruments in Tantric Buddhist ritual. The sound made by the bells is regarded as very auspicious and believed to drive out evil spirits from where the ritual is being performed. When the bell is being used with the dorj, I don't know what that is, its use is varied depending on the ritual or the mantras being chanted. During meditation, ringing the bell represents the sound of Buddha teaching the Dharma and symbolizes the attainment of wisdom and the understanding of emptiness. During the chanting of the mantras, the bell and dorj are used together in a variety of different ritualistic ways to represent the union of the male and female principles. Oh, let's see. Vajra symbolism. Vajra is made up of several parts. Center is a sphere, represents sunyata. The primordial nature of the universe, the underlying unity of all things. Emerging from the sphere are 2 8-petaled lotus flowers. One represents the phenomenal world, samsara. The other represents the noumenal world, or nirvana. This is one of the fundamental dichotomies which are perceived by the unenlightened. The physical manifestation of the vajra, also called dorji in this context, is the male organ. Arranged equally around the mouth of the lotus, they said male organ and mouth in the next sentence, are 2, 4, or 8 creatures which are called makara. These are mythological half fish, half crocodile creatures made up of 2 or more animals, chimeras, right? Often representing the union of opposites, or a harmonization of qualities that transcend our usual experience. From the mouths of the makara come the tongues which come together in a point. Is that what that symbol means? I don't know. If somebody knows that symbol, will you please comment below and tell me what that symbol, the name of it is, and if it's what I'm talking about? Okay. Now, the 5-prong vajra with the 4 makara plus a central prong is the most commonly seen vajra. There is an elaborate system of correspondences between the 5 elements of the nominal side of the vajra. That would be the nirvana, I remember. One important correspondence is between the 5 poisons with the 5 wisdoms. The 5 poisons are mental states that obscure the original purity of a being's mind, while the 5 wisdoms are the 5 most important aspects of the enlightened mind. Each of the 5 wisdoms is also associated with Buddha, with a Buddha figure. The bell, the hollow of the bell, represents the void from which all phenomena arise, including the sound of the bell, and the clapper represents form. Together they symbolize wisdom, emptiness, in parentheses, and compassion, form or appearance, in parentheses. The sound, like all phenomena, arises, radiates forth, and then dissolves back into emptiness. Okay. So now I've given you a thumbnail sketch of what is Vajra transmission, what is the mantra, what does it sound like, what is it about. I think there are 7 words or 7 syllables that they say. I can't find it right here, but anyway. I think it's interesting that they call it also Diamond Sutra, Tibetan art, Phurba with PH, URBA. The 3 Vajras. But it's a weapon. It's originally a weapon. So here they're using it for mind, body, and soul therapeutical healing. But it's a weapon. So, and my neighbor, she says she makes her living this way. She's self-employed, and she's a Vajra healer. So I'm thinking, who would do that? I mean, I know not everybody's Christian or one of the Abrahamic religions, which I'm not going to get into now, but we can get into Abrahamic religions and the Bible, and we can go to the Torah. Both have been rewritten. So, you know, like I was reading the other day, I think it's in California, over 2/3 of the population are of some type of what we would call New Age religion or spiritual belief. They're not of the Abrahamic top 3, let's say. So, but I'm thinking around here, people I know and see in my community, who would just dial this up and say, come on over. How does somebody make a living doing Vajra healing with chanting and bells, with an ancient Vedic weapon, with the indestructibility of a diamond? I'm just at a loss for words. I really don't know what to say. So that's my short coverage of what is Vajra transmission healing. Okay. Anyway, tell me what you think. Is it something you would do? Is it Luciferian? I mean, of course it's Luciferian in the general ominous sense of everything that's going on. It's not teaching about God or the Son of God who are in heaven. It's not teaching you anything about healing with anything besides syllables and vibration created by an ancient Vedic weapon to heal. So tell me what you think. Is it good or bad? Should we do it? Should we not? I would like to know if it's something that people have used and have healed from it. One look at the person who gave me this card, she looks a lot healthier than she did when I first met her about 2 years ago. She's done something, but I've heard other stories. I'm not going to say much because I showed the card. But anyway, so let me know what you think about Vajra healing with chanting and being a transmission master of Vajra. Okay? All right. I'm out.